Was a shocking upset, have you heard, in a congressional primary. It could have major implications for the Democratic Party. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, please remember that name. She defeated 10-term Congressman Joe Crowley in New York last night. He is the #4 House Democrat and was considered a potential successor to Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi.
Cameras captured Ocasio-Cortez screaming as she saw the results come in. She was an organizer for Bernie Sanders' presidential campaign, and as recently as November, she worked as a bartender.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez joins us now on the telephone. Good morning. I know you won by about a 15-point margin. Why do you think your message resonated with voters?
Well, I think a lot of working-class Americans and voters here have been waiting for an unapologetic champion for economic, social, and racial dignity in the United States. And we provided a very direct message, a very clear message. And voters also knew that I was the only candidate in the race that did not take corporate money in a time when economic marginalization is really increasing in New York City. So I think it created a lot of trust in our community, and our message really inspired a lot of folks that don't usually turn out in an off-year midterm primary.
Is part of your message, oftentimes when there are these kinds of shocking wins that shake the establishment, the message is to the establishment. Do you have a message for the Democratic establishment in Washington?
Yeah, I think that it's time that we really need to reassert and truly put the needs of working class Americans first. We shouldn't be afraid of bold policies that chart a vision for the future of America that we want, that will be just for everyday people trying to make ends meet.
Alexandria, I think for a lot of people who were meeting you for the first time, it was that video last night where you looked as surprised as everybody else. You put your hand over your mouth like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening to me. Yeah. So I would like to know what that was like for you, and what were you thinking as the night went on?
Yeah, you know, I had not checked the results. We had driven over to this party with our supporters, and I had not checked the results at all. I was not following them in the car. And, you know, I started walking over to the little billiards place where we were going to watch the results. Mm-hmm. And essentially what had happened was, you know, we saw on the screens that we were up, and I ran inside and I ran into a TV set and looked up and saw exactly what the results were. And it was just so shocking. We had felt so great all day, but to see what that feeling looked like and in numbers was really astonishing.
Did you think you had a real shot at winning?
I always felt like we had a shot and that we had a possibility to win, always, from day one.
All right, Alexandria.
Alexandria, one other quick question. There's a debate in the Democratic Party right now about those issues you talked about, working class families, and presenting resistance against President Donald Trump. What's your message in terms of the way Democrats should talk about those two issues in the campaign?
Well, I think that we shouldn't be afraid to go toe-to-toe. His administration is a form of extremism, and that we shouldn't be afraid to be very bold and very strong in our values and be very clear-cut in what those values look like in policy and legislation.
All right, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, thanks so much for being with us.